What's up guys, so today's video is gonna be a fantasy filled video plus a Christmassy decoration because I thought it was time to get in Christmas spirit, and I have not yet collected really any kind of Christmassy decorations for my room, so once I get that, you guys are gonna get a like Christmassy background. But today I decided to film in front of my bookshelf, which took like 2 hours to get the lighting a little bit okay. And I'm wearing dark lipstick, which I like because it's winter, so why not? So there's nothing more for me to say except maybe make a cup of hot cocoa, because you love the cocoa. Sit back, relax, and let's talk about my 8 favorite series that are fantasy and amazing. And without any further ado, let's get on to this video. The first series that I want to talk to you guys about, I've read this year. I read it in March. I read it back to back, marathoned it. Loved it! The series that I'm talking about, if you had not just guessed it, it is the Christian Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in the series, Shadow and Bone. Then there is the second book, which is Seeking and Storm, and then the last book in the series, which has the prettiest cover in my opinion, is Lunar Rising. The Christian Trilogy is set in this fantasy world where you have normal people and then you have Grishas. And Grishas are people that have special powers. Some can work with blood, you have heart tenders, healers, all these kind of crazy categories. I'll list them here. It's really hard to explain. For the first few hundred pages I didn't really understand what these people were, but when you read the book you'll gradually get to understand it. But our main character Alina has been orphaned by the war that is going on in this world, and her and her best friend Mal are in the army, and they are traveling to, I think, the capital of the world the land that they live in. And then you have the Darkling, which if you have heard anything about the series, you probably have heard something about the Darkling. The Darkling is not the king, he's not the king, but he's kind of the king of the Grishas. So he has a special kind of power and he's one of a kind, amazing. And then this one day, one day Alina kind of shows that she has some special powers too. And she kind of gets to work with the Darkling a little bit more. Over the course of the first 2 books, you get to learn so much more about the world, about the kind of people, about their history. That's also something I love. There was a lot of history about the Grisha world, and I love that so much. I came to care about the Grisha world so much. And then there is amazing character developments. I love this series. It's so intriguing and unique, and the writing is beautiful. Leigh Bardugo spins tales so well, and definitely one of my favorite fantasy series. The next series I want to talk to you guys about is from a favorite author of mine. She writes amazing contemporary. It is the Pivot Point series by Kasie. So the first book is Pivot Point, and the covers are gorgeous and actually very cleverly done. And the second book is Split Second. Now, these books are about Addie, and her parents are getting divorced, and she has to decide whether she wants to live with her mom or her dad. But there's a kind of a big twist actually, because Addison lives with her family and her friends and this community in a compound because they are not normal people. No, they are kind of X-Men people. They have special powers, and Eddie is a searcher, which means he can see into the future, kind of go in a dreamlike state and see what happens if she chooses scenario A, or what happens if she chooses scenario B. Addison's dad wants to move out of the compound and her mom wants to stay, so she has to decide what she's gonna do. But it's not just a story about, oh my god, am I gonna live with my mom or my dad? No, there's friendship, there's romance, there is mystery, and there's crime, and there is of course the situation where Addison gets thrown into this whole new world, and it was so much fun to read about. I loved the dynamic between Layla, which is Addison's best friend, and Addison. There was so much sarcasm. I love Kasie West's writing. It's very simple, quick, clean, and cute, and it's just really fluffy, and also it's very funny, so I absolutely love these books. I love the kind of X-Men setting because it is a very light fantasy, but it has enough fantasy elements where it's not like, okay, this is just kind of a weird mixture between fantasy and contemporary. Layla's story has a kind of a heavier topic and has the most amazing romance ever. It's kind of like slow burning, hating each other love interest, and I loved it so much. And there's again a little bit of crime and mystery in it, so it's also a good read for those of you who like those kind of genres. next series that I'm talking about is it actually may be one of my favorite series I have ever read, because it is so different from anything else I've read, and it was so kick-ass. The series that I'm talking about is the Penryn and the End of Days series. So the first book is, let's see, Angel Fall, then the second book is World After, right? And then the third book is End of Days. Look at these covers, look at these covers. So, judging by the titles and the covers, you may already have guessed this series is about angels and demons. This series is about our main character Penryn, I just call her Penryn, I love that name. So she lives with her mom and her little sister, just in a normal human world. Her dad kind of left a few months or even years prior to the events in this book. So what happens is there is an angel apocalypse, the world is kind of going through hell, and angels are taking over, and they're not nice angels looking out for you. No, these are bad angels looking out for only themselves. And there's this war going on in the angel world. So Penryn is this kick-ass character. She is great at self-defense for kind of heavy reasons. That's also another thing I love about this book. This series deals with a lot of heavy topics. The love interest is an angel, I'll tell you that, but he is just like this annoying, amazing, annoying, lovable angel, and the romance is slow burning as fuck. It is anxious, it is impossible for both of them because of angel, human, cannot happen. But oh my god, I cannot tell you guys how much I loved the chemistry between the two love interests. It was amazing. There's a war going on in the angel world, and sometimes I got a little confused with all the names. I'm not a Christian, so sometimes I was like, wait, who's who? But you don't have to have any kind of religious background or have any kind of particular interest for angels or anything to love this series, because it was kick-ass. It was amazing. There are so many plot twists in this series, and it kept you on your toes. It's action-packed, and it is funny because Penryn is so funny, and the love interest is really funny as well, and it is one of the most amazing series ever. And then the fourth series that I have to talk to you guys about is one that I started this month, and I've only read the first two books, but I already love it so much that I feel like I can justify talking to you guys about it. You probably already guess what it was since it was standing there the first half of this video. So the books that I'm talking about is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Lainy Tailor. So I'm gonna try to get them out, which is always heavy. That's why I don't like box sets, because you can never get the books out. So the first one is Daughter of Smoke and Bones. The second one is Days of Blood and Starlight. And then the one that I still have to read is Dreams of Gods and Monsters. And I love the covers, and this one is so freaking huge. And then there's the box set. So this series is about angels and demons as well, but this is the world is beyond what you're used to from hearing about angels and demons, and they're not the villains in the series aren't necessarily demons. They're more like, I don't know, they have a name, but I'm not good at pronouncing Chimera. I think that's how you pronounce it. But our main character is Carew, and she is kick-ass. She loves art, is amazing at drawing, is at making art. Her hair grows blue out of her scalp, and she was raised by quote-unquote monsters. She doesn't really know her parents. She doesn't really know whether she's human or not. And yeah, her guardians are these monsters from this alternate universe, and she lives in Prague. That's also another thing. I have this best friend Susanne, and oh my god, can I just say that the chemistry between Susanne and Carew is amazing, because they're both sarcastic, are kind of hating people, and they're just like, fuck everybody, and I could just find myself in their statements, and I loved them so much. So there's also a love interest, which is kind of, I didn't really enjoy him very much for the first 1.5 books, and then by the end of the second book I kind of was okay with him, but still not really sure. I think that's my opinion, because I have heard a lot of people say that they love the love interest, but it's not really my kind of man. Writing is beautiful. Lainy Tailor has a way with words and I love it, and I cannot wait to read the second book. And I already recommend it to you guys. Like literally, if you're in the mood for anything high fantasy, like great good fantasy, go read Daughter of Smoke and Bones. And then a series that I'm currently reading the fourth and last book of, and everybody on YouTube or on BookTube loves this series. It's amazing. The fourth book just came out and everybody's raving about it. It is the Lunar Chronicles. So the first book in the series is Cinder. Where is Cinder? Here's Cinder. This is Cinder. Then you have Scarlet, which is upside down, Scarlet. And then the third book is Crest. And then the fourth book is Winter. This is kind of a retelling of Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and then Snow White. This world is amazing. So you have this kind of sci-fi fantasy world with cyborgs and people living on the moon, which is lunar folk people, species, whatever. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. The only thing I didn't really like about the series is that the first book kind of mainly focuses on this disease, which is, as in a lot of books that I've actually read, kind of just this heavy disease where people are getting killed and there's just drama. And I get that is a good topic, I guess, to talk about, but I don't really enjoy it very much. But the world building is really, really awesome. What I love about the series is that each and every character is its individual person and has its own story and is lovable in its own way. But all the books and all the characters, their stories kind of intertwine just perfectly, and they work together, and you get to know them better and better. And they each have their own love interests, which is fun and unique in their own way. And my favorite male character is Captain Thorne. Cinder is a cyborg. She's not 100% human. She's not 100% cyborg. Scarlet lives in France. Crest is kind of isolated on this planet, and Winter is supposedly crazy. Yeah, but it's also really fun and good, and I cannot wait to finish the series. And I will definitely be doing a book talk about about Winter. So if it's up, I'll link it in the down bar below, and otherwise you can wait for it and just now you have an extra excuse to subscribe. First book is Die For Me. The second book is Until I Die, and the third book is If I Should Die by Amy Plum. It's the Revenants series. So this book focuses on Plane. I wanted to say Plane. Kate and her sister Georgia moved to France to live with their grandparents because their parents recently died in a car accident, and they used to live in New York. And let me just say, the setting is luscious. It is amazing and cute and pretty, and I've been to France once and I want to go back really, really badly, especially after reading the series. I was like, I need to go back to France now. But there is, and of course, as expected, a very, very luscious and good looking and amazing love interest. His name is Vincent, and it's not a spoiler because it's quite obvious from the beginning. But Vincent has kind of a secret. He is a revenant, and I'm not going to explain what a revenant is because learning about what a revenant was amazing. If you know, maybe you've heard the term because in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, they kind of mentioned revenants. There's a series called The Revenants. So there's this guy called Jules, and he is bae, and I love him, and I know that he's not a love interest necessarily, but for me he is. So Jules, I volunteer as a tribute, as I've said before, to be your wife, girlfriend, whatever you want me to be, because you're hilarious. From your description, you're gorgeous and you're funny as hell. There's a lot of humor in this book, which I love very, very much. There's this great dynamic between the people in the Revenant circle and Kate and her sister Georgia, and the setting is luscious. There's a lot of world building and it's amazing. It's action-packed. I have a series that most of you guys are probably familiar with because a lot of people love the series. I personally loved it. I loved the writing. The series that I'm talking about is the Shatter Me series by Taharah Mafi. So the first book is Shatter Me, then we have Unravel Me, and then we have Ignite Me. And these covers are gorgeous, and I got the library binding edition of the hardback, which I wasn't happy about because on Book Depository it said hardback, but this is not hardback, this is library binding. But yeah, it's still gorgeous though. So, enjoy the view because it's gorgeous, as I said before. This series is about our main character Juliet, and her touch is lethal. This is kind of a dystopian series. The world has kind of, I think it's been a really long time since I read this series, but due to environmental issues, the world has kind of fallen apart. Juliet's touch is lethal, so whenever she touches somebody, they kind of go into shock, it hurts, and she is imprisoned in this mental hospital. I say imprisoned because she's not there on her own free will. Her parents kind of abandoned her and put her there because, you know, when you touch someone and you kill them, that's not really a good thing. She has been there for, I think, 77 days. She has a journal, and she's slightly going insane over the course of she's been kind of going insane over the course of the past few months, which is understandable, but the writing is gorgeous. It turns out there's a lot of X-Men-like people in this world, and it's amazing, and I love X-Men, and I love the kind of X-Men vibe, so it has a kind of a sci-fi dystopian vibe going on. The world building was kind of weird. A lot of times I didn't really understand what had happened. There's a little thingy flying in my face. But a lot of times I didn't really understand the world. There are actually 2 love interests in this series, and no, it's not necessarily a love triangle. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. So the first book I loved the love interest, and I was rooting for them, and by the end of the book I was like, maybe not so. And the second book I was like, no, I want the other person. And yeah, there is a novella that you have to read. I think it's Shatter Me. If you don't read that novella, you miss out on Warner. And Warner is the general's son, and the general is of course the dictator, a bad person, blah 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 blah. Warner is amazing. Just putting it out there. I loved him so much. Juliet is this gorgeous girl, and I think I'm not making any sense, but this series was awesome. It was written so beautifully. I love the X-Men vibes. There's crazy character development going from Juliet in the beginning and Juliet at the ending. I have arrived at the very last series that is also coincidentally one of my absolute favorites, and it holds a very special place in my heart. It was the first time I read anything vampire, anything angels and demons, anything werewolves, and it holds a very special place in my heart, as it does for a lot of people. So it's probably very apparent which series I'm talking about, but if you don't know, I'm talking about the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. And yes, I do love the Mortal Instruments series a lot more than the Infernal Devices. Yes, it was pretty epic, but I love the Mortal Instruments 1,000 times more. So I only owned the last book because the other ones I read on my e-reader, and I kind of wanted to get all the hardback books, but not for the original price because that's expensive. But this series is about Clare, and she finds out that she is a shadow hunter after her mother gets kidnapped. She doesn't live with her dad. She doesn't know who he is and where he is. She lives with her mother in New York, and they're both redheads, and now our refrigerator is beeping, or is it a washing machine? I don't know. It's annoying. I honestly, it's really hard for me to explain what the series is about because there's so many emotions and things I want to say and happiness and everything going through my mind. Just read the description. You probably know what it's about because it was a movie. The movie was bad. It's getting turned into a TV show. It looks pretty epic actually. I love this series so much. It holds a very special place in my heart, especially the last book. I think the last book was my favorite. I cried so much. Like literally there was one part which was near the very ending. Ripped me. Ugly cried. I ugly cried for 2 days straight. And then there was Magnus, the warlock of the city, and he made me laugh so much. So what I want to tell you guys is that this world has so many amazing characters. It has vampires, angels, demons. It has werewolves. It has wizards. It's not really wizards. It's warlocks, but they are amazing. It's funny. There are so many points of views, and each character is just like amazing, and I hold them so dear to my heart. And I absolutely love this series, and I think give the first book a try. I love the first book. I know a lot of people had trouble with the first book, but the second book is even more amazing, and the third book is even more amazing, the fourth book is amazing, the fifth book is amazing, and the sixth book is just like heaven on earth, and I love it so much. All I wrote down is there are so many characters that I love, points of view, slow, oh my god, yeah, the romance is slow burning romance, anxious romance, love it, and there are these other romance. I cannot wrap my mind around how amazing the series is. There's an amazing villain, like there is, I think this is the best villain that I've ever read about. You love to hate him, but you also kind of want to love him, and it's so amazing, and you guys need to read it. And I'm sorry that I'm being so all over the place with my thoughts, but the Mortal Instruments series is probably one of my favorite series ever, and I'm actually planning on rereading it very soon because I love it so much, and it is just, I get all the feels thinking about how much this series means to me actually. Those were all the series that I wanted to recommend to you guys, or just tell you guys about that are my faves, because let's be honest, there are a lot of amazing books out there, and sometimes it's kind of hard to decide which one should be or have your priority. So go read all these series, then comment down below if you love them when you've read them. If you've already read any of the series or you have questions, or if you have actual recommendations for me, leave them in the comment section below, because I'm always looking for more fantasy series. I'm gonna finish Winter, then I'm gonna go on to Snow Like Ashes and Crown of Midnight, because I need to finish those series because they are awesome. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!